Remember when Daniel Ricciardo announced he was leaving Red Bull in 2018 to drive for Renault? Well, that story repeated itself a year later when the ever-smiling Australian told the world he signed for McLaren. His team boss at the time, Parisian Cyrril Abitaboul, had a few things to say about Danny Ric's departure in a recent podcast. I couldn't believe what that man said when I read it. Let's break down what he said and my opinion on it. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. It all started when young Max Verstappen was promoted to the Red Bull senior team. Verstappen, being the prodigy picked up by Helmut Marko, a lot of attention went to the young man. Ricciardo had beaten Vettel a few years earlier and was widely regarded as the next big thing coming out of Red Bull. After a few incidents, Daniel Ricciardo realized that it would be very hard for him to win back the full attention of his team, especially with Max Verstappen being so quick. After the infamous Baku incident, Ricciardo didn't handle it very well. They both received equal blame and got chewed out for it. Verstappen wasn't all that impressed with Dr. Marko shouting, as he was used to his dad. But Ricciardo made up his mind there and then. He was going elsewhere. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner and Renault team principal Cyrril Abitaboul were locking horns about the engines Renault supplied and had announced they would stop buying them from Renault. I think this played a part in Abitaboul's prying away Ricciardo from under the nose of Horner. The Frenchman offered a very lucrative deal to Ricciardo and lured him in with some wonderful statistics and prognosis of where Renault was going to be in a few years. You could call it a bill of goods he sold Ricciardo. After 1 year at the Enstone team, Ricciardo had seen enough and announced he was leaving. Carlos Sainz left McLaren to join Ferrari, and that opened up a short window for Ricciardo to upgrade to a better team. He asked himself the question if he'd ever be able to win a race at Renault without extreme circumstances, like a pileup. He realized the answer was no, so he signed another very juicy contract with McLaren and joined forces with Lando Norris and Zak Brown. We all know how that went, but that's not important right now. Before we get into that, would you be so kind as to subscribe? I need less than 90 subscribers to reach the partner program. With your help, we'll get there. I make 2 to 3 videos per week and a podcast monthly. Thanks a million. In the French-spoken podcast Dans les boîtes à gants, which means in the glove compartment, Abitaboul spoke at length about that period. It's too much to repeat in this video, so I've copied and pasted the best bits. About Ricciardo's early move, he said, he made his decision in April or May. The world is at a standstill. We don't know how we're going to get back on track, if we're going to get back on track. In fact, I think it's a very early move. A bit selfish, because in the end, it will have given the team just 1 season's chance. And so it's true that it's a decision that I'm taking badly. He added that he took it all very personally, which doesn't surprise me, because like most French people, he has a bit of an ego. He went on to explain that he was disappointed that Ricciardo already decided to leave after giving them only 1 year, while the car was getting better. And I don't see it happening either, that we would have such a good year in 2020, all the same, with the podiums and a car that once again, by making a few less mistakes, could have finished 3rd in the standings. The next bit that he said was so two-faced it inspired me to make this video. I don't think Ricciardo could have imagined the car making such progress, and neither could we. I can also understand his strategy. McLaren sold him a bit of a bill of goods to get him, but that's part of the game. Ricciardo always has a timing problem. He left us too early, and he left McLaren too early. A bill of goods. Where have I heard that before? I think Abitaboul is the last person who should complain about luring a driver away from another team with a bill of goods. It's a bit of karma if you ask me. What's also a fact is that over the years a whole group of people walked away from Renault because it was so badly organized. Alonso, Piastri and Prost as the biggest examples. There must be a reason why so many of them disapproved of what went on there internally and is still going on. Renault is called Alpine now, and a lot of people at the top received the boot. But things aren't quiet yet. You can see that on track too. That team has the most failures of any team on the grid. Cyrril Abitaboul needs to take a good look in the mirror and then realised that it wasn't personal that Ricciardo left. It was just that McLaren looked to be a better prospect, a better organised team in every aspect. And that shows on track. It wasn't Ricciardo's choice to leave McLaren either. Did Cyril miss that memo? He definitely shouldn't moan about something that he did himself a year earlier. I hope he does a better job for Hyundai Motorsport as a team principal for their rally team. Take care now. Doei doei.